Welcome back. Today, we're back on the Bets channel with a new concept, divisions. We're going over today the NFC West division. I'm excited. I have a lot to talk about in this division. I know Nick has some strong opinions in this division. We'll go team by team, worst to best. And some of them have obviously UD plays. Some of them have lesser, like the Cardinals only have Marvin Harrison Jr. right now. But we still can yap about all the players that we think are going to get their lines, where we think we're going to get them, all that sort of stuff. Over-unders on wins, just the team in general. What are we thinking from these teams?
Insane that Tony skipped out on this.
Yeah, and Tony willingly skipped out on his team. Yeah. We waited for him, and he still just went home. All right, shout out Town. Arizona Cardinals. Starting us off, 6.5 wins, juiced over. Where are we at with the Cardinals?
I'm starting to think the Cardinals is like everyone's pick when they're like, who's your dark horse this year? Like everyone wants to pick.
Yeah, they kind of feel like, did they add anyone good on defense? Like really like lockdown?
No lock.
Because their secondary, I feel like, started getting like real atrocious last year.
Yeah, they were beat up though too. Like I feel like almost the entire defense. They started to come together at the end of the year, showed improvements, but their team where it's like you look at this. They lost, obviously, a lot of games. Finishing, I have the record here, 4-13. So, but I felt like almost every game was close in some respect.
They tried.
They were like, there's a lot of games.
I mean, they won. They beat like the Cowboys. Like,
they beat the Birds.
When like
at Philly.
When Dobbs was fucking playing QB, they were like rattling off the most unnecessary wins of all time.
And they were. Well, it was also not even the wins that they had. Like they would be in games where they just shouldn't have been in them.
It kind of. I mean, in a way, it felt like they were starting to build a culture of like people who at least were trying to win and felt like they were a step away. Almost when like Campbell took over for Detroit, whereas like the record was bad, but like everybody, they were a few breaks and a few bounce balls away from being a 3 more win team. Kind of,
100%. And if they get 3 more wins, they're hitting this over.
I'm just curious, like, are we too bought in, like, in just like 3 or 4 guys we really love, and we're just ignoring the other 18 guys?
I was gonna say it could be like a fun Madden roster. Don't know, like NFL gonna be.
And they're like a team each week where like you don't want to underrate them by any means. Like they could again upset anyone. I feel like if I truly had to put my life on the line, I don't know if I see them getting 7 wins.
Yeah.
It's also like the division's tough. Like
division's tough, but I also like I could see them splitting with both the Rams and the Seahawks. Yeah, like I'm not gonna
Niners win.
I'm not gonna project them to beat the Niners, but like I could see them coming away, with 2, maybe 3 from the division, and then I'm not really sure what the rest of their schedule looks like. But I mean, I think it's a good over/under. I wouldn't like overhype them going above 7.
And when you get to look at the rest of these teams, and we'll see it, the team stats on the side, they were one of the higher rushing teams out of this entire division. Let alone in the NFL, they ran a lot.
That feels like a pretty high number.
That's what I'm saying. Like it is a very high number, especially when we go in and compare, as we will throughout the video. They ran the ball a lot. Are they going to continue to run the ball a lot now that Kyler's fully healthy? We'll see.
Well, the other thing to factor in though, like the rushing yards are high because of their season having Dobbs transitioning into Kyler. So like the QB adding 600 to 700.
Dobbs ran a lot.
Right. Like,
Dobbs ran more than Kyler will.
Yeah, like running back rushing yards was probably around 15, 16-ish, 17, whatever.
What are we thinking? I know we don't have any lines for Connor yet. Do we think he ends up splitting second half of the season? Obviously with Benson coming in, it's a tough split there. Benson's an athletic freak nature. Connor's a reliable guy that just gets it done.
Yeah.
And the FSU boys just different.
Yeah.
I like
come in and produce.
I like fading Connor. I do it every year and I'm always wrong.
It never works.
But this feels like the first year where it's practical to do it because they took Trey Benson like as a day 2 back.
Yeah.
So like the narrative makes sense. The last few years being like, nah, his job's cooked because like Eno Benjamin is back there, or like Amari Demarcado is back there. Like that never made sense. We were just like pushing
Michael Carter,
pushing a fake narrative. Now it makes a little bit of sense that he could kind of sputter over the second part of the year. I also think he started losing a little bit of passing work too last year. So Connor's time's gotta come.
Plus age. Like even though we've been saying that year over year, like you're older now.
Dude, did you hear no 28-year-old running back's ever been
top 2,
number 2? Yeah.
Connor's about to break that this year.
Connor about to.
James Conner.
But Connor.
All right, if you guys had to take over under, where you going on the wins?
I kind of 7 wins is a good amount, dude.
I'm gonna take the value on the under.
The plus 130.
Yeah, I'll take plus 135 on that.
I don't even know if I just straight up like think if like you got to get this right or you're not gonna make it. I think I'd go under.
Yeah,
6 and 11s feels good.
I'm gonna take the juice and take the over.
When you say you got to get it right, you're not gonna make it. Like you're saying, if we turn this into a life and death scenario,
like
Like, I'll put a
many
gun to your
fucking
head,
wins? Yeah.
and you got to know.
You're taking the over?
I think I would take the juice and take the over. Maybe even spice it up and take the +7.5. Fuck it, we ball.
Chill.
No,
Chill,
that's,
daddy.
no, but I think 6.5 is just a perfect line. I'm definitely going to lean the over just because I believe in what this team can do with how close they were last year. Like, they really were, like you said, just a bounce or two away from 3 to 4 more wins. And now with Kyler fully healthy, the team was
you're
rolling.
also a huge Kyler guy
I'm big
too,
on
so
Kyler. Like,
yeah.
I think he has the talent to do it. I think he has the ability to do it.
I'm curious what his comeback player of the year odds are, because he's got to be.
I can throw him in. I'll
choice.
throw him in the video.
Yeah, he's
Just as-
probably up there.
He's definitely up there somewhere. I mean, but he also played a good amount last year at the end, but we'll see really how that factors in. All right, we can move on. The next team with the lowest win total, Seahawks, the greatest.
That's not the lowest.
My life on the
Second
line.
lowest, I'm saying. That's
Oh,
just at the
gotcha.
next lowest out of the division.
Gun to my head.
7.5.
Give me the over 7.5.
Odds are pretty close. 125 is not a big number. Nothing like 160. We do have some more lines. We have DK and Gino. Gino at 3,400, 50, and
that
22 and a
his
half
passing
passing TDs.
Has that been there?
That might be no.
That feels good.
22 and a half
Feels
feels
like
great.
he could get 23 touchdowns.
It feels like fantastic. But you look at their rushing total, literally almost 1,000 yards less.
Jesus.
And now they just got an offensive coordinator that passes the ball the most.
You know why their rushing yards were lower? Because they had a cone at quarterback.
Enough.
Quite literal statue.
So would you take the under on his props?
3,400, 22 and a half.
I would be fine taking the under on his. I wouldn't touch the yardage just because that's just like whether or not you want to bet he plays the full season because he'll go over that if he plays. But passing touchdown, I would if I had to lean one way, I would definitely be the under. It'd be the under. I would take the over on wins though. Like I think they're an 8-win team.
Yeah, no, I agree. If you look at last year, we go back 9-8.
I just feel like this is like a good stack to build in a parlay for a season long. Both Gino and DK. Like,
No, yeah, I think DK has the ability to. He did it over last year,
yeah.
and now I feel like this offense is only going to pass the ball more. Obviously, like we talked about off the scenes, they might add in the 3 receiver sets a lot more, which means JSN can definitely get more work.
Yeah.
But I don't see how DK isn't the number one. Grubb has always had a number one in his passing offenses. Obviously, you look at Adunze in college. I was coming from Washington. Adunze had 1,500 yards last year. Do I think DK's going to have 1,500 yards? No, but I think DK could easily soar over the 1,000-yard mark. He also did this.
Do you think DK has DK is such a hard player to really figure out because you want it. You're like he has a 17.
He has everything.
He has the 1,600-yard season in him, but it's like, does he though? I don't know. He did pop off a couple years ago for 13 something and whatever, but it's hard to really calculate his upside. I guess just because of the fucking way he's built.
I feel like he's gonna have a completely different player, but like a Brandon Cooks type career where it's just always floating around that
hanging
1,000
around.
piece.
Feels like we got a lot of players in the league like that now.
Michael Pittman around there now.
Yeah, that feels
Pittman,
exactly like Pittman.
Cooper, DJ Moore, they're all just going to be 1,000 yards for 10 years in a row.
Yeah, no, I think
all the goats.
like we talked about, I think whenever JS Line comes out, if it's good, I'm taking it every single time.
What if it's at I think when JSN's receiving yards line comes out, it'll be between 8 and 850.
I was gonna say 825 is literally gonna be like what I
Dub.
came out with, so we're on the same page.
Dub wavelength.
It'll be higher than Lockett's.
Probably, I think
Yeah.
Lock will be in the 700s.
Lockett will be 775 probably.
Damn.
JSN at 825.
Yeah, we're right there. Yeah. We're so dialed.
K9, 900.
850.
Really?
I think it's tough because Grubb has always been like a one back guy. So that's where it's like you look at that. I think they 100% lean to Kenneth inside zone scheme. It's the same thing they ran at Michigan State back when he was playing in college. He can do everything on the field. I'm a big Kenneth believer, obviously. I know you guys are a little bit lower on him, but I think in this offense he can really thrive. He's going to catch the ball a ton.
I think Kenneth is in for a bounce back year for sure. I'm not
especially him being injured, playing injured too, did not help. So hopefully, I think this comes out. Gun to your head, where you going?
I like the over. I legitimately think they might be a playoff team. If Mike McDonald is a good head coach, I'm obviously kind of just going in blind with that. I don't know shit about defense. I don't know how easily that's going to transfer.
Did you hear the fucking? There's been rumblings and people going around that I see on TikTok all the time that are like, they're building the Legion of Boom 2.0, starting with Witherspoon. Yeah, and building off him. And I'm
it's
just
different to have a fun duo.
Yeah, then
between
I
him
do
and
I do
Reek.
like the coaching. I like that they got
Him and
McDonald
Woolen,
in,
yeah.
who's kind of a stud on D, and then they have. I like when teams have one guy focused on doing the offense. And the OC is going to be locked in. So the 3 wide receiver. If there's any team that it fits perfectly, it's this team.
Yeah,
So,
they have everything to do
They
it.
really don't have like a big weakness unless you want to point to Geno.
And I mean, Geno played good enough for me last year to where I'm like, all right, I'm all in with this offensive coordinator. All in with
on Geno.
I'm so in on Geno.
I'm happy for you. Happy for you guys.
So in. All right, it's gun to my head. I'm taking the over too. I like the Seahawks.
Yeah, I would take the over.
All right, we can move on.
Over to make the playoffs. Are they plus money to make it?
How do you see their games, like their in division games? Give me the records against those 3 other teams. You think 1-1?
Probably 3-3. Maybe sweep someone.
Okay.
I think they have a good matchup against the Rams, which is ironic. Like I think having Woolen and Witherspoon literally locked up on Kupp and Puka the entire game.
I'm kind of like,
Except the movement of they move around so much in motion that makes it tough. But
we'll get into it on the Rams, but I think I'm a little bit lower on them than most.
all right, well that's a good transition, I guess. Segue into 8.5 plus one. Yeah. I mean minus 135 to go over too. It's only Stafford's line is out right now with the Puka and Kupp controversy of who the fuck's the one.
Yeah, I think I'm with you that like it kind of feels like if anything doesn't go their way, they're going to be an 8-win team.
Anything doesn't go their way, they're going to be.
Yeah, like everything needs to go right for them to be a good like
for them to go over the 8.5 mark.
Like they lost Donald, which is like not talked about enough. Like he was still like the GOAT of their defense. Raheem Morris also left to Atlanta. Their OC left, and I think
losing Raheem Morris is bigger than what people want to make out to be.
And
he was a good ass coach.
I'm sorry, but like Stafford and Kupp, I don't know if I trust them to be healthy because it's like. It's so hard for me. Like I'm so
you think you know a guy.
I'm so fucking two-faced because in fantasy I'm like, Kupp's so underrated. But then I'm like,
it's also the value you're getting him at in draft.
Yeah. With betting, you're like on a spectrum. Like you can't just be like, this is what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. You're like, if one of these 4 things possibly go wrong, they probably dip under kind of thing.
I think Stafford has been injury prone the last 2 seasons. I mean, last year's thumb, the year before he missed like 8 games. Kupp. Obviously, the last 2 years as well.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I really just also again, I don't know if I trust their defense. Like
coming into last year, they were supposed to be like a fucking 5-6 win team.
Yeah.
Like they were looked at as
they were an
atrocious team. Yeah, they obviously overperformed, and I think a lot of that. I don't want to say that's luck. Like you add a guy like Puka who transforms your offense. McVay like is a fucking magician, so anything could happen with him.
Kyron turns into
like a lot of things happen, and you can't just like write all that shit off. Obviously.
This feels like a year where shit's going to go wrong and they need to be like, all right, we got to reset and just completely pivot because we're not going to be able to run it back again with Stafford and Kupp a year from now.
Yeah, you don't think this could be like one last, like we're fucking still here?
I think that was it.
Everything,
it was last season.
Quorum's now in the lineup to just run the ball more.
I just really don't trust this defense.
Yeah.
Like they might be an offense that works well in fantasy. Like I'm hoping that paths can cross where it's good in fantasy, but they're a bad team and they have a great offense.
I would take the under here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm leading the value of the plus 110 as well.
Yeah, so Seattle might sweep.
Seattle just might sweep everyone. Honestly, 6-0. Thoughts?
I'm going under on LA.
Yep. Taking the under here. Gun to your head. Under.
All
Passing yards on Stafford. I think I'd also go under.
4K.
Yeah. I don't.
It's a tough line.
I don't like betting on passing yards because I just feel like realistically you're just trying to figure out whether or not a guy's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's also I feel like the most general number Vegas like locks in on.
It's like
we need
4K, 30 and 100.
Yeah, you always say like receptions is kind of where the value sometimes at for wideouts.
Yeah,
I would love to see what his passing TDs come out to.
It'll probably be.
I thought
how many did he have last year?
25, I think.
I was gonna say 24.5 is probably right for him.
All right, Rams under. Jaymo hates them. Fade the Rams. Getting 2 wins.
Love McVay though.
All right, Tone. Way to be here.
All right,
thanks, kid.
Holy fuck, they got a lot of lines.
Yeah, I mean it's all CMC and Purdy, but. Yeah, they're moving.
61 total touchdowns. Everyone else is like 30.
Debo's, Ayuk, Kittles or nothing? Damn.
Not on UD.
Hold up. Do you believe in the Ayuk? Like Jaden Daniels. Or wait, yeah, it was Jaden Daniels he was FaceTiming. Like, you think he's going to be a Niner?
I don't know. Some bullshit.
No fucking idea.
I don't know. I don't believe in all this fucking bullshit we hear at this time of the year.
That hoopla.
All right, fine. CMC
but
under.
If there's one thing to look at, and this is exactly what you said like to yourself. 61 total tugs. I think Seahawks, if I wasn't mistaken, was at like 37.
Ooh, 61?
And the Rams were at 44. So this is like the gap of great, elite versus like.
I mean,
good.
11.5. What are the Chiefs at?
11.5.
Okay,
I think everything the highest are 11.5. Yeah, between them two.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Birds are like 10.5. Dallas is 10.5.
Where's Baltimore at? 10.5. 11?
I think they're 11.5.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to bet against the Niners. They just have so few holes in their team.
I feel like last year went so right, though. Like, this is where I'm at is, like, I feel like everything went right.
That's my logic.
And they got 12 wins.
Everything. I'm like, everything was too easy.
Yeah.
Everything was too easy because they just have, like, so much continuity.
Talent, yeah.
Talent and continuity. And, like, when you have those two things together, it's very hard to break that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel like things broke right. It just felt like Purdy played really well. And, like, I don't feel a reason why he wouldn't play well again this year. No. Knowing the offense, like, super well. And
28.5 passing tuds.
That feels high. But the thing is, like, they just set him up for so many easy scores around the goal line where it's just like, get Debo the ball on the 2-yard line and let him run it in. So you have, like, an extra 4. Any normal offense, you're, like, taking 4 out of those.
Yeah. I feel like I'm also, my only worry about the over-unders, I think they played really well against the division last year. I think the division's better this year, besides from the Rams, of course. But I think the division's better this year, going to give them almost more challenge to where they're not going to sweep their division. They're not going to have games where they just blow them out. Obviously, the Cardinals maybe, but...
Do you know what other divisions, I think for the next divisional ones, like, you know how each team plays, like, other divisions? Yeah. We should have that up there maybe, too.
Okay. Yeah, we can add it. I can do that for you.
I truly think I'm going to go to the grave saying CMC gets hurt this year. Like, that's
like your take.
As illogical.
It's not evil. It just sounds stupid.
But, like... He just is.
Is what?
Gonna get hurt.
No.
The workload's just too much.
It is. His body just hurts.
He's a temple. Did you not see the photo of him in the hot tub with his head back and the like mirror of water? Yeah. He's dialed.
He does everything right. He does like fucking
61 total tugs. Like there ain't no one stopping this offense.
I'm taking his under though.
Gun to my head, I am taking the under though.
1175. I was talking about his rushing yards.
Yeah, 1175 is a lot.
Like you could have a good season, be healthy, and still not hit that. Like that's a reality.
My only I guess not problem, but as much as I like Isaac Garendo, it doesn't feel like they went out of their way to be like, we need someone to take the load off of C-Mac at all.
You don't think he gets that Kelsey treatment? Like
he also wasn't a big prospect. He wasn't a big pick for them.
No, not at all. He's just like another mid-round pick that Shanahan.
It's just like,
Shanahan feels like he gets a guy and he fucking runs them until they die, And maybe C-Mac dies.
Send his ass 2 years.
Yeah. That didn't put a little chills down your spine?
I think the Niners.
You making a video on him being injured? Is that going to be your lock of the century?
It's like, I don't know if it's enough to make a video on. It's just like a take I really, really believe in.
All right, Purdy Tutters, though, this is a spicy. It's a 1.1x.
Okay.
So it's not like crazy spice, but it's spice. 28.5 feels high.
Don't you feel like, all right, there's something off here, and it's the yardage, obviously. Like 3,900 for a guy they've projected at 28.5 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, no, that feels low.
That feels weird.
Yeah, that feels low. But it's also, Purdy had a lot of games last year where he literally would pass for 178 yards and 4 tugs.
Yeah, that's fair. They do, blow the fuck off the doors sometimes, and he doesn't play
and they just run. CMC, run.
No, that's fair.
I don't think they have to correlate though.
No, it's just saying that there's a clear difference here. Any quarterback who's usually pegged at 3,900 probably is around 23 passing touchdowns or something line wise.
5.5 receiving, 10.5. He's gonna get 17 tugs, 11 and 6.
I mean, I'm definitely not taking the over. I feel like any line where
that's
insane.
That's RB1, buddy. That's 28-year-old RB1.
I don't hate the receiving yardage line.
No,
I feel like guys
like
C-Mac, Eckler, the real receiving yards guys go 6 to 8.
Especially because he'll have 1 or 2 screens that go for fucking 50, 40.
Right, he'll get 18% of that yardage in one play.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, 100%. I like the receiving yard line. I feel the most comfortable with for sure. Passing yard line, the passing touchdown line for Purdy, I actually do like. Over the spicy, yeah. I think he's going to have a season where he gets 31, 33. Just because they have those play-action plays that they run consistently near the goal line, at the 10-yard line, 8-yard line. It's a great red zone system where it's just facts, Ricky, where it's just they get the balls to their playmakers in short space, Kittle right in the middle. They do the Debo end-arounds, stuff to get Purdy easy passing tugs.
They added someone on their D-line this offseason, though.
Leonard Floyd.
You're just 49ers got him. Of course they fucking did.
I feel like that's anyone they sign at this rate.
Yeah. I think if I had to bet lines, I would take I think I like the over on C-Mac's receiving yardage. And I never really bet on double-digit touchdowns, but dude, there are games where he just gets like
Literally
4
3,
goal line carries in a row, and he'll walk away with multiple double touchdown games. Or
his line at the end of last season was 1.5 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and that was like
there's just gonna be a game where he gets 4 touchdowns.
And Jaymo's gonna like spike his phone.
Yeah, like motherfuck.
Yeah, I take the Purdy passing yardage over 39. They just give him so many fucking layups that end up in big plays.
All right, that's fair. Jaymo, anyone you're locking in?
I just like CMC under on yards. Like I'm so rushing yards, like utterly confident in that. I think I took the under at like 1,100 earlier in the season before it was bumped.
All right, well, now that it's bumped, they're taking it again.
The wins, though, I feel like, I mean, obviously they're not going to put anyone at 13 wins, but every year there is a team that went 14-3, 13-4. Like, am I really going to say it's not going to be San Francisco or Kansas City? I feel like I might lean over on the 11.5 wins.
All right, that's fair.
I'll look at their schedule real quick.
Go ahead.
Like, I feel like if they went 12-5, like, that's, like,
they get to play the
not even their
Vikes,
ceiling.
the Vikes, the Pats, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bucks, Packers, Bills, Bears.
Packers about to be
a pretty
movie.
Even Dolphins, Lions, Cardinals. They actually have a pretty tough outside of division schedule.
Maybe they are going to get 11 wins.
Oh, they're just too good, dude.
Gun to my head, I'm taking the under.
Just think Shanahan's so good.
I'm finna take.
I think I might go under.
Switching.
I'll take the opposite side. I'll go over.
All right. Nikki's locking me over. Jaymo under
CMC's
lock.
getting hurt. I gotta stick with my narrative.
Isaac Garando, whatever how do you pronounce it?
Isaac Garando.
Garando.
Is he over Elijah Mitchell?
That's not a sure thing. I just assume Mitchell's dust after last year.
He was so ass. His line in the Super Bowl was 4 yards. Couldn't even.
Absolutely nailed that.
I know, that was crazy.
Missed it.
I know.
I was like, it's the easiest play of all time. Guy fucking like 1 carry every 2 yards.
Yeah, he might be the greatest. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to let us know what divisions you want to see, or if you're like, yo, fuck this, I hate it. Let us know in the comments below, and what you guys think this division's going to end up being. Very interesting. A lot of polarizing players, a lot of polarizing takes. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, all that sort of shit. Let's catch you next time. Peace.
Hank.
What are you doing? We don't need those.
We don't. No, we're just going to yap about the division.
Wait, didn't one just end up on my lap? Because I feel like I didn't. Did I take one?
No, I just threw it on there.
Oh, okay. I wasn't paying attention. I was like, someone definitely.
We can have either this up, or we can just like have my notes. Doesn't matter. For Arizona, there's like nothing here though.
Definitely put it on my lap now. Damn, I got fucking played.